Hi guys, okay, so I'm doing something a little bit different today. There's a campaign running on YouTube at the moment called dearme, and I really liked the idea of it, so let's get cracking. If I could go back in time as my present self to speak to my younger self, starting from about 13 years old, I have several things I would tell myself. First of all, I would tell myself to embrace my curly hair and my features, because now, due to medication, I cannot get my hair to go curly at all. I loathed it as my younger self, but actually now I really miss it, and I never thought that that is something I would ever say or ever think, but actually I miss it so much, and I would just tell myself to enjoy it because it's beautiful, it is natural, it looks so much nicer, and it's your heritage. Just enjoy it, embrace it. Who cares if the other girls have got sleek straight hair, because that was the style, and you know, you struggled to do this, but that's okay, because actually being different is so much more beautiful than fitting in. I would tell myself to enjoy the activities and different sporty things that you have got going on in your life, because as your future self you cannot actually take part in most of them anymore, and I look back at those days and I smile and I remember how much fun it was, and I would just tell myself to enjoy it, because at the end of the day I did things then that I can't do now. Like, I went cliff jumping with my dad in Wales, I went segwaying with my best friend, I did a charity bike ride that was 30 miles, which is something I never thought I'd be able to do, but I pushed myself to do that, and the list goes on. Yes, I can't do those things anymore, but I can look back and be proud that I took part in those things. I would just tell myself to enjoy any possible opportunities that get given to you. Just take it and do it. Don't be scared, don't overanalyse it, just take part and make a memory, because there's nothing better than looking back and smiling rather than looking back with regret. I would tell myself that it's okay that you're not attracted to the boys at school and the latest actor that's on television, because actually when you reach about 19 you look at yourself and you realise a very major but also little part of yourself, and you realise you're gay. So yes, you weren't attracted to those boys, but not because you're strange, because actually it's not the way you are wired, and once you accept that, life becomes so much easier. It is a bit of a struggle when you first come out and tell all your family, and you lose some friends over it, but actually if they can't accept you for that, they probably weren't your friend in the first place. So the people you have around you mean so much more to you because they just accept you for you, and your family embrace you, and you're not holding back this massive secret about yourself because you did for years and years and you weren't happy. You did everything you could possibly do to make you look normal, and it didn't work. It didn't work, sorry, but it's not who you are. So yeah, that is one of the most important things I would tell myself, is just stop stressing about it, worry about your education, worry about doing things and being a good person. Don't worry about the fact that you don't find the boys attractive in their PE shorts when all the other girls are drooling. Just go and enjoy the game, take part, because it makes no difference in your later life, believe me. I would tell my younger self to embrace my inner geek and my inner goth, because it is the most beautiful kind of person that you are, because you are what you want to be. I am now 27 years old, and I still, if I see a Batman coaster, I will buy it because it's got Batman on. You are a bigger geek now than you were then, because you can afford to be that geek. So that doesn't go away. You may as well just embrace it then and start early instead of playing catch up like I do. And if you're going to be a geek, be a proud geek. I have learnt this the hard way because I hid the fact trying to be normal again, and it was boring. I hated every minute of it. I went to all the regular gigs, I went to see the regular films, yet all I wanted to do was sit down and watch a traditional Dracula film or the original Frankenstein films and just really enjoy everything goth. And it wasn't until I went to college that I realised actually it's a new start, I can do what I want, and that is when I became my own. And I would also tell my younger self that those Doc Martin boots you bought, don't worry that they cost you a lot of money, because they are bloody good and you still have them even when you are 27 and you still wear them, and they are still the comfiest shoes you own. So don't worry about that, because you get your money's worth, believe me. I pre-warn my younger self, you are going to make some stupid, bad decisions in these years that really kind of affect you for quite some time, but it's okay because you learn from every single little mistake you made, you make it a life lesson and you learn not to do it again. So it makes that alright, it's not a problem. If you learn from it, it isn't a problem. And I've always believed that, and I believe it more now than ever before. So yes, I would pre-warn myself that I am a fool and I have really bad judgment, and I push out people from my life that I end up crawling back to, eating the biggest piece of humble pie so I can be back in their lives again, and everything becomes alright, it all settles down again because you learn from it. I would tell myself to be happier than I was, because I was a very sad child. I was miserable, I withdrew myself a lot, I didn't tell people when I wasn't feeling quite myself, which was ridiculous, because when I look back at the things that used to stress me out, they were just not worth stressing over. Like, I have stresses in my life now that I'm sure in the next 10-15 years I will look back at and think how ridiculous that I was worried about that, but it's just how life works. If I could pre-warn myself, I would certainly say just be happier. I would tell myself that it is okay that you are not in the popular group and you're not going to all these parties and you're not getting drunk and doing stupid things that everyone thinks is cool, because you look back at these people now and think how ridiculous they were, that they felt they had to do these things to have status. Because yes, you may have had a friendship group of 100 people or more and go to house parties every weekend. How many of those people are your friends now? Because I can certainly tell you the people I was friends with then are not in my life. There is one person that I still have in my life that I was friends with at college, and I would finally tell myself just to love myself for myself, because I really had a lot of hatred over myself when it came to appearance, music types, every single aspect of my life. I could find multiple negatives, ask me to find a positive, and I'd have really struggled. Where now I look back at those things and again I just find them ridiculous that they were things that I put on such a high pedestal, and it was so unnecessary. So I would just say love yourself for yourself, because actually you are a beautiful, kind, giving young woman, and you just need to appreciate yourself, because people around you love you for that, and you just need to see it through their eyes a little bit and just give yourself a bit of a hug and tell yourself you love yourself once in a while, because you don't do that enough. You put yourself down far too easily and so unnecessarily. But that's pretty much everything I'd want to say to my younger self, because I think it would have made a massive difference into how I looked at life.